We're just wanting people to brace themselves that just like every other province and the federal government and virtually every jurisdiction around the world, there's unfortunately going to be deficits until we start seeing some oil prices turn around and getting new production online.
The Premier on building up to the budget with MLAs returning to the legislature next week. Comments that come ahead of a televised address to Albertans Thursday evening at 6:45. And joining us now, NDP Opposition House Leader Christina Gray. Ms. Gray, good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me back.
All right. So what are you expecting to hear from the Premier in Thursday's televised address? And how do you see it setting the government up for this next sitting?
Yeah, so we heard in the clip the Premier talking about a deficit. But I think it's really important to remember that this is the 6th year of the UCP government, the 4th budget under Danielle Smith, and the 3rd deficit that we're going to see. What I would like from our government is to hear that they are focused on the priorities of Albertans, healthcare, which is in crisis, and we've seen so many important issues happen since the legislature last sat. Affordability for Albertans is really something that's top of mind when I'm out talking to constituents. And of course, everybody's talking about separation and what this government has facilitated through their courting of separatists and continuing to allow the separatist referendum. So these are the things that I know Albertans are listening to hear about. This government, though, has not had the priorities of Albertans in mind through the last few sessions. And really, I think on this budget, I would like to see a recognition that we need to make sure that there is strong healthcare, strong education, and support for families.
On that point of separation, obviously it's high on the radar for many Albertans now as this debate intensifies. What role then do you see for the issue itself playing in the spring sitting? And how is it that your party plans to address it?
So first off, being very clear on where every MLA in the legislature stands on the issue of separatism and Alberta remaining a part of Canada, I think is really important. And that's one of the reasons why Naheed Nenshi, our leader, led off with the pledge that we very publicly did, inviting all MLAs in a nonpartisan way to signal their support. Instead of UCP MLAs signing that, we've instead heard from the leaders of the separatist movement that some of the UCP MLAs have signed the separation referendum. So I think we're going to hear a lot of concerns and questions about that. And we also know that the Forever Canadian petition reached the threshold that it needed. And there will be some sort of legislative committee that is formed to discuss next steps and what happens. So the official opposition will be a part of those discussions and really at the table trying to further what we're hearing from our constituents and from Albertans, which is such a strong desire to stay here in Canada, as well as an awareness of the economic damage that even having this discussion is having to our province right now.
On the point of signing that pledge, was there ever a realistic expectation that those on the government bench would actually sign that?
Honestly, yes. The idea behind that was to do something in a very nonpartisan way that just allowed that very clear statement to be made, because the word salad that we hear from the UCP government about united, sovereign Alberta, the thing they say all the time, doesn't cut it. And so being able to have a clear discussion around where people stand on this, I think is really important, because we have a separatist government that has been facilitating these types of discussions in, I would say, really opportunistic for them way. It's their politics that's driving this, not what's best for Alberta. In the meantime, I'm talking to seniors in my area in Mill Woods who are worried about leaving the house because if they slip on ice, will the healthcare system be there to make sure that they're not waiting 16 hours in the emergency room? So going into session, I'm thinking a lot about those conversations I've had with constituents, and our entire team is going to be talking about the things that are important to Albertans, which are healthcare, affordability, and staying a part of Canada.
A new political identity lands in the legislature this sitting as opposition House Leader. How do you see the NDP working with Peter Guthrie and the progressive Tory party of Alberta in challenging and holding the Smith government to account?
Yeah, so a big part of my role as official opposition House Leader is to coordinate with everybody in the legislature. So I have conversations with the government, and up till now I've been talking to the independents, and I will be working with independent Scott Sinclair and now Tory party leader Peter Guthrie in the legislature when and where it makes sense. So we have open conversations to an extent. I think continuing to point out where the UCP government is not focused on things that Albertans care about is going to be something that we continue to see both from the official opposition, the independent member, and now the new Tory party member. So the more voices that are pointing out the failures of this government, I think that can be quite positive. The politics can get interesting. And so for the official opposition, we're just going to continue to work on what we're hearing from constituents and the things that we know make a real impact for families.
Okay, one more for you. Your party has a handful of candidate nomination meetings scheduled for early March. A sign your party's gearing up for the prospect of an election coming earlier than October of next year.
Well, so when it comes to election timing, the government has the control. It's nothing scheduled until fall of 2027. And we are going to just make sure that we're ready for whatever might come our way, at the same time as doing the work that we were elected to do in the legislature, talking about the things that are important to Alberta families. So that's why you're seeing some of those nomination meetings starting to happen. It can take a while to nominate for 87 ridings, and so just getting that work started now made sense to us, all in the name of being ready for whatever may happen.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, we'll have to leave it there for time. As always, appreciate your time. Thank you kindly, Ms. Gray.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's NDP Opposition House Leader Christina Gray.